blue.
Yeah, it's a beautiful Honolulu blue. Yeah, Honolulu blue.
It's just it's giving Cookie Monster.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he put his little hands together and just like and made us something.
This was surprising.
This would be
I did not expect this flavor. I expected it to be more chocolatey, and it's definitely more blue moony.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so labeled as Oreo ice cream or maybe cookies and cream. I'm not too sure.
Lion Tricks with cookie dough pieces and Oreo,
Crushed Oreo.
crushed Oreo. Cheers. Okay.
What is Oreo?
Which is cheers.
And it is very blue.
I don't know what flavor that is.
Me either.
Is it just vanilla?
Yeah, it kind of tastes like cookies and cream.
Yeah.
But even like the texture is just way different than the rest. Why is that?
I don't know. Well, it is cookies and cream. So I guess maybe it has a higher like milk fat percentage.
I would have liked more texture with it. I prefer like the Oreos. What I like about those is they give crunch.
Like they need like an actual like it feels like they with the Oreos is they put it in like a bag and they're like bah, bah, bah,
Yeah.
bah, bah.
I never had Blue Moon before coming to Michigan.
Really? Is that a Michigan thing?
I think so. I've never heard of it before.
It's got a light flavor.
Yeah, it does. I like it. I've had it once before. I feel like the blue color should be freaking me out a little more. It's just not.
It's really blue.
That's the point.
I guess it's just really blue. It's like really blue though.
What's kind of sad? I wanted it to taste like Blue Moon.
Pretty classic Blue Moon flavor, I would say. It's almost like a little bit of an Oreo cookie flavor going on in there.
Yeah, I feel like I know it's good when I'm like scraping the bowl to get the last out.
Tastes like winning.
Very creamy. I feel like it gets better as you keep eating it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, someone asked me what the flavor was. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't know how to describe the flavor, but they're good.
I'll give this one also a 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
Very sweet cookies
Yeah.
and cream.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Is it north of a 5?
No.
I'd give this.
Yeah. I think it's like a 5-er.
I give it a 4.
That's average. Yeah,
4.
that's fair.
I'd give it like a 6.6. I'd say.
I'll give it like. I'm gonna give this one another 8 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Being an out-of-state student, by far the most challenging.
Being an out-of-state student, it was very hard coming to a school where I knew absolutely 0 people, and I went in random, so I didn't even know my roommate.
So for me, it was coming 800 miles away from home, and I had only been in Michigan to like visit Michigan State, so I didn't know anyone in the state really either. So that was hard because I'm an only child. I'm really close to my parents, so like learning how to live without them was a big adjustment. I remember like the first week here, I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But I'm really glad I did because it definitely pushed me in my comfort zone. I've had to become a lot more independent than I would have if I could just easily drive home on weekends.
Right.
You really do come in here with nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. There's no support system coming in, and unlike most students who have a support system that they can go back and visit every weekend, I don't. So, huge effort on my part to build a support system on campus that I can depend on, be involved in, and get back what I put in.
I would say not having as many people that you're talking to every day. Like I went to a pretty small high school, and so I like knew everyone in my classes, and we would all talk like the classes were super small. So I would say the biggest thing is like transitioning to being with more students you don't know. Like it takes a second to get comfortable and get to know people. It obviously happens eventually, but that was definitely a challenge, I feel like. Like I didn't make all friends right away, you know, it like took a second.
And obviously, the whole, like, I gotta do my laundry, I have
You
to
get to your own,
cook, I'm living on my own, I gotta run errands, things like that. actually fully living on my own
Yeah.
and not having. I will say it felt like I didn't have a support system when I first got here, but then quickly
Mm-hmm.
after I started making friends and all of that,
Yeah.
I felt like a community.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just, in all honesty, adulting and finding a balance. Like, I crave change and I'm always very excited for it, even if it's kind of bittersweet when one chapter ends and a new one starts. So I think for me, I was honestly really excited to move someplace where I didn't know anyone and just kind of starting all over, making new friends, even though I did love like high school and having my friends and family there.
I think what was hard for me was like accepting my own like like growth period post high school, especially being just like, I mean, like, I don't know, you have your parents with you always, you have a consistent support system, you know people, especially if you've been in the same school system for your entire life. It's just the same thing, same people, same teachers, you know who you're gonna get, you expect to see people.
For me, it was definitely leaving my family at home because my sister is my best friend and we spend all of our time together. But I was really nervous to like not be able to see my sister every day when I was going to a new place, and like I never moved growing up, and so it's like you spend 17 years in one place and then all of a sudden you're living on your own, and so that was really scary. But everybody in the dorms was so nice, and I was in Rise. Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, and so I had like an automatic built-in community, smaller community around me, so the campus didn't feel so big.
That made it easier for me as well.
Yeah, everybody was just so sweet, and so I was so scared to make friends, but I made friends so fast with just the people living right next to me and across from me, and that made it a lot easier.
Yeah, everyone in the Rise community was really nice and welcoming too. I remember that making the transition a lot easier.
I just couldn't make friends right away. You know, it was weird going from high school, you know, where you have your friends all the time, to a really big school like this, and then it's a little overwhelming, you know. And I remember kind of like seeing groups of people walk by, like, how did they make all those friends? You know, it's like for the first like probably month and a half, I was definitely like not sure about it. I was like, Mom, Dad, you know, did I make the right decision coming here? And they told me to stick with it, and you know, believe it or not, Mom is always right.
Life changing, like getting new perspectives and then changing your current ones, unlearning and relearning like bad habits, unlearning bad habits, relearning new habits, either it be social, emotional, or educational. There's all sorts of things that you're trying to like absorb and use and change yourself, hopefully for the better, which I feel like I've been working on. But I mean, it's been like a lot, and it definitely feels like it wears down sometimes. I need a break, but I think that's the hardest part, is like accepting that you're changing. Accept the change and take it with open arms. I think that's the hardest part for me.
It is uplifting to see someone with like a mark of their home state or something, like a sticker. I've seen people with area codes on their computers.
Oh, yeah.
And I've gone up to them and started talking about our home, and it is fun to see those people. And I have stuck with them, and I'm friends with most of them still. But definitely coming in here alone can be challenging. I know my first semester I was a hermit, so
Yeah.
But it doesn't like, you don't make friends in your classes right away.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is like everybody is willing to like make a new friend. Like even
Yeah.
like this like past like semester or like before, like I've made new friends in the past like 2 semesters. there.
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't feel like if you like have a group of friends at the beginning of college, like that can always change. Or
Right.
you can gain new friends. Like
Yeah.
it's you can always like make new friends
Yeah.
throughout college.
Yeah.
It's not set in stone.
Right.
But it's just like when stuff happens, handling it by yourself and not being like, Mom, which like, yeah, sometimes I still do. But I think it's just finding like a work, school, life, and personal balance, because like college is really only, or at least for me, I put like half of my energy and focus into school and the other half into your personal life, because sometimes it feels like when you live here, it has to be all school. but that's not always healthy. So I'm still working on it. But I think initially coming here, that was probably the hardest part.
Yeah, I will say college is definitely a big growth period. And then it's when you go back home and you see all your high school friends and you're kind of like, whoa, we're all different
You're
now.
not the same. You're not the
It's
same,
not the
same
same.
person. Because I mean, it feels like you're growing up, but like you're physically changing, and it's just like you're getting taller and like you're growing facial hair. But when college, it's just all like it's in your head.
Internal change.
Yeah.
I do feel like it got better.
Oh, yeah.
I think my
Oh, yeah.
spring semester I started to really open up. Even in like classes, I can sense myself like be more expressive and talking to my classmates. I mean, I think my friendships now have blossomed because that spring semester, my freshman year, I started to get out there and kind of immerse myself in being a Michigander.
Yeah. And I did find too that if you looked for the resources that you needed, they were there.
Yeah, it took me a minute for sure, but after a while, I made some of the best friends that I will ever have, and it's going super well. So, just kind of sticking with it for a while.
I like what you said about how like everybody's willing to make a friend because it doesn't seem like it seems scary.
No.
It seems like, oh, they're not gonna want to talk to me, or like I shouldn't. But like everybody's so like I feel like they feel relieved when someone talks to them. You know,
Once
yeah.
you make like the first and it's like that.
Mhm.
It's hard because I'm also introverted. So
Yeah.
like, I'm not the one that wants to make the first
Right,
thing.
yeah.
But then when you do, everyone's so nice.
Yeah,
Because
uh-huh.
everyone wants to make friends, but
Yeah.
they're too nervous to like
Uh-huh.
start.
Yeah, but nobody is actually being mean.
Yeah,
They
no one's
just
ever
like,
like-
yeah,
They're
yeah.
Like, I don't want to talk to you.
Right, I've never had.
They're like, oh
that.
my god, like yeah, of course.
Yes, yeah,
Like
yeah,
so nice.
yes. I would agree.